Hi friends. In this video, I wanted to cover shell scripting in a nutshell kind of thing. So one of the reasons why I want to do that is with time I'm finding like shell scripting is a really important skill. Even if we don't write our web services or any front end in shell scripting, but a lot of automation tasks are done with shell scripting. So one example being if you're building your code and you need to download any proprietary CLI or any set up any passwords or something like that. So a lot of times we use shell scripting for that to automate their tasks because it's very straightforward with that. So it's good to know like how it works and how we can extend our knowledge on that. So I'll get started. So to get started, we would actually create a file first, and I'll save this file as my shell.sh. So it has been saved. And in every shell file, whenever you're writing a shell script, the first line has to be the shebang. So it's a hash sign followed by exclamatory mark or a bang, followed by the path to the program using which you want to run this script. So I'm using bash here, and bash is widely used. A lot of people use bash, so it's pretty safe to use it. Next, we would echo hello world. So this will print hello world on our terminal. Let's try and run this. So you would see I've just created file, and if I try to run it, it won't run because there are permission issues. And it is permission issues because if I do hyphen ls hyphen l, so it will give me all the permissions. So this is the file we are looking at right now. You would see it's missing the X permission. So X is the executable permission. So what we would do is we just do change mod plus X and the file name my shell. Now if I try to do the same, run it, you can see it runs and echoes hello world. So that's cool, it works. We saw echo, and the next thing I want to show is exit command. So exit command is used to exit the program, and following the exit command you can give the exit code. So 0 is successful, and 1 to 25 255 1 to 255 are unsuccessful codes. Based on your protocol you can understand which they are. So for example, if I run this now, you can see the shell shift was successful, it's green. And if I make the exit code maybe 1, you can see it executed, but it's marked as failure. Yeah. uh, there would be other ways you can capture, but this is just my ZSH plugin and agnostic theme which shows like that. Next, let's look at variables. So to create variables, just give the variable name. So for example, name equals and the value to that variable John. And to access those variables, you use them with a dollar sign. So for example, echo my name is dollar name. If I run it now, it works. My name is John. And also let me comment this to keep the demo till here. So my name is John. Now this works fine. There's one catch to it. For example, if you want to something connected, for example you wanted to connect Y to it, now print it. So it didn't print John here. Reason being, now it's stating NAMEY as a variable name. So now if you want to connect anything, you can actually surround these with flower brackets. So dollar and flower brackets, so that will be variable name, and then the next to it would be string. So you can use that. So if I run the script again, you can see my name is Charlie. That works well. Next is if you want to create constants. So create constants, you can just add read only, and then you can create a name 2 equals John 2. Now if I do echo my other name is okay, sorry, since it's a space separated, it treated it as a list. So to do that, just cover it in quotes. So now it's John 2. I'll show you the list like when we come to it, but yeah, there was a catch. So it shows my name is name 2. Now if I try to reassign the value of name 2, so I do name 2 equals maybe John 3, only if I can type. Now if I try to run this script, you can see name 2 is read only variable, so it fails, the script fails, and this is the error, we cannot reassign it. Whereas if I try to reassign name, it works. It fails only on name 2. uh, and there's one more thing we see here. So you for comments in the code, you just add a hash in front of them and they become comment. So this is single line comment. It's mostly preferred, that's how we do. You can also create multi-line comments. The way I do it is colon and then single quotes, then this is multi-line comment, then closing quotes. So if I do hello the end terminal, and now if I run it, so you can see the comment didn't impact and we printed from the end. uh, how in practice we almost use these, so you can actually add another hash and the comment here, like I do that, so up to you. uh, the next one, let me just comment these out. Next, let's take a look at the if condition. So for example, let's declare two variables, name equals John, and let's also create the name equals, let's assign the value of name only in it. Now if I want to check if these two values are equal, I can do if, and in square brackets give the condition. So name, sorry, dollar name is equal to dollar other name, and then echo copy, no need of quotes in this case, copy successful. It will treat it as list, but it will print it as one after the other, so that's fine. And here echo copy field, and then fi. So yeah, to close the if then. So now if I run the script, let me clear output, you can see copy successful, so it works fine. Now now if I let's say I did this, so there are multiple kinds of tests. So to check all the other tests, you can just do man test here, so it will print the manual for the test. So it will give you all different kinds of tests. You can do -b true if file exists and it's a block special file, and all the other ones. So we actually use this a lot. So -e followed by the file name to make sure the file exists. And then there's one more we use a lot, which is -eq to compare to integers. And so you saw equals for a string and then -eq for integers. So we use these a lot, so you can check out these tests and how they work. Now that we have covered if condition, I'll comment this code and come to the for loops. So for loops are to iterate over a list. So let's create a list first. So we all know, like if I do ls and run the script, it will print all the files in the current directory. So what if I can store this in a variable, this list, and then iterate over it? So I can do files equal and start a subshell. So dollar and parenthesis starts a subshell and the output gets stored gets returned, then you can store it in a variable. So I got the files now, so I can now do for um, maybe file in files, and use dollar access it. So now I can access all the files. So I can actually uh, to start for we do do, and to end it we do done. So this will be the loop, and I can echo dollar file. Now if I run the script, you can actually see printed everything. It's confusing because it output didn't change, so let me add some string to it. Is a file. So yeah, it gets printed from the for loop. So you can actually do other stuff here. You can then cat read the content of the file and then do operations on it. So that's how we use for loops to iterate over a list. um, Now that the for loops are covered, let's also look at functions. So functions are interesting, like they're a block of code which do specific function with specific tasks when called. So we use function a lot, like we source other files and they have functions, we call them. So yeah, so you can declare a function by the function name, and maybe my first function bracket and this. So we have created the function now, and I can echo from within the function. And to call the function, I just need to write my function name, my first function. And now if I run this file, you can see this got echo printed because this function got called. Now let's say I wanted to create a function to calculate sum of two numbers. So what I would do is I can change this to sum and call this function as sum. So I can pass arguments here 1 comma 5. So I want to calculate sum of 1 and 5. And the way we access variables or the arguments in a function is $1 and $2. So you can be like $1 starting with first argument, $2, $3, it goes on. So now if I call this function, you would see it printed 1 and 5, which are the arguments here. Now if I want to take a sum of these, so sum, I need to use a utility function called expression, so expr. So I need to do $1 plus $2. So this will calculate the sum of the two numbers, and now I can do echo $sum. So you can see it got accessed. And so this is how you actually change functions, create functions to do some specific utility and extend them. Cool. Next, I think next I want to cover is switch case, which is also like needed, like when you have like case where your program takes multiple commands and you want to switch over them, so you can use switch case in that case. So let's do function switch case, and then let's say our case would be the first argument, so $1 in, and let's say we take value of start, so start and then parenthesis and echo. I'll just write the bare bones first and then add the commands, and then stop. So start and stop, I'm taking like my function takes these two commands, so I've added switch case for them. And then to close it, just write case the other way, so ESAC, and then you can just call this function as switch case start maybe. So let's do, if it's called start, started, and then if it's stopped, then stop. Now if I run my shell, you can see it started, and if I call stop, stopped. So yeah, we use switch case when there are function takes multiple commands and we want to switch over them, run specific commands for those. So we use them. Next, after this, I've got one a good one. So sorry, I've got a good one. So let's say you want to take input from the users. So how we do that? So for that, we have a utility called read, and then you can do hyphen p and give the your message. So it's one line. So maybe what, and then you can give the variable in which you want to capture name. So name, and then I can actually do echo. What is your name? John. So echo name. So this is also a good one. Like sometimes if you are running a program and you want to confirm with the user that this is what gonna happen, are you sure? So yes or no. So you can take this input and then you can switch case with the yes and no, like if it's yes or no or y n or whatever. So you can match values. Uh, Cool. Now, we've covered the basics of like shell, but there are a couple of commands that should be aware of. So the first one is curl. So curl is used to call REST APIs. So what I can do is I have this API with me, which gives the cat facts. So I've included curl, this command, and I can actually store it in a variable. So I can do cat facts equals and run it in a subshell. Cool. So now I'll have the output here. So if I do echo dollar cat facts, so you can see it made the network call, and if get the response, which has a lot of stuff in there, and let's say I want to extract the value of this text, which is actually the fact. So you can see it's an array, and yeah, within the array in the first object itself we have text. It's not further nested, so I can use a tool called JQ for that. So I can just do fact uh, equals. Now this is where the power of pipe and subshell comes in. So I'll start a subshell. I'll echo dollar cat facts and pipe it into JQ. So JQ is another tool to work on JSONs. So you can take a look, like it's very well documented. So dollar zero. So this will, like, from the object take the first element in the array dot text. So now if I do echo dollar cat, and let me just delete what I have right now to make it cleaner. If I run it, so it make the API call and just printed that text for me. So this is how you can actually do curl calls in your script. So curl is like, this is a very short small example, but there are a lot of arguments and options to it. Like you can pass header, authentication, and a lot of stuff. So yeah, this is all I wanted to cover in shell scripting in nutshell. I think this can get started with shell scripting, and also understand if there are any shell scripts in your repository or being used in your company. Uh, Please let me know in comments if you have any questions or any suggestions for next topic that you want to see from me. Thank you.